Coming in now, this is in connection with the threat of Khalistani separatists. Now, this is a CNN News 18 mega exclusive brought to us by our investigations editor, Manoj Gupta. Now, top intelligence sources have told CNN News 18 that Khalistani groups are upset with Prime Minister Modi's successful visit to the US. Now, despite getting funding from the Pakistan spy agency, the ISI, they have not been able to perform successfully. They could only gather about 50 to 60 people for the protest. CNN News 18 has also reported earlier that USA is looking at their request of protests and gathering these protests, and they are gathering evidence and they're looking at investigating the entire nexus of these separatists. Now, after the San Francisco attack on the Indian consulate, US security forces have not given many permissions for protests. The ISI has tried its best to give momentum, but has failed to boost the K-separatists and Pakistan diaspora, who's also not keen to come out onto the streets. This is what top intelligence sources have told CNN News 18 when it comes to the Pakistan-funded designs to boost K-separatism, especially in the West, when it comes to targeting not just Indian diplomats, but also the diaspora, as well as the foreign visits of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So I'm joined by Abhishek Jha on the broadcast, who's joining us to decode this piece of breaking news. Abhishek, when it comes to this pitch coming in from Pakistan to boost the K-separatists in the West, at the same time, they're not able to mobilize the support on the ground, because not just are the Western governments getting wary, at the same time, they are posing a law and order situation in these countries where those laws are very strict.
Of course, but the laws are strict, but in the name of freedom of speech and democratic rights to protest, these protesters have been able to fan out their anti-India sentiment across this country. Many European countries, including US, UK, Australia, part of other European countries have also seen sporadic incidences where these Khalistani protesters have been able to gather some show. But what we are learning now that even after apparent support from Pakistani intelligence officials and Pakistani state-backed Khalistani individuals, they have not been able to come out with that strength in support of their cause or their separatist agenda during Prime Minister Modi's visit. We have seen that during Prime Minister Modi and Biden Biden talk at White House, there were a handful of them, probably a dozen or 2 dozen of them with Khalistani flag in the back, and they couldn't match up the strength that Indian community was present with 4,000 or 6,000 people of Indian community and diaspora very much there. So clearly the verdict was out that the people have stopped relying on their propaganda. There is not enough ground support that they try to showcase on their through their so many social media handles that sudden eruption of Khalistani protesters at this place or that place. So clearly there is no ground support. There are just a few individuals who are supported and backed by Pakistan, their agencies, and in the name of anti-India propaganda, they try to whip up that separatist Sikh sentiment that has long died down, and despite they are trying to keep it alive by all means, but even that is not helping them, and this is a very disappointing fact. Of course, it's an encouraging thing for India that the diaspora has lost connect and lost any trust in those separatist group and their anti-India propaganda.
Right. Thank you, Abhishek, for decoding that pitch that's coming in from top intelligence sources who have told CNN News 18 that Pakistan's designs to boost K-separatism in the West are failing, but still at the same time, the Western governments are going soft when it comes to these cells in their countries. And